Okay, I want some changes to be done very quickly. Your name is not having your batch. Julian, Jualin is not having that name. Harshit is also not having which batch you are from. Sanjay, Satya Maumita, Tanishka Peter, Yashwant Rishi. You guys have to add which batch you are from. If you are from Baba Towers, if you are from Trichy Baba Towers batch, you please add BT07 followed by your name. If you are from Neyveli, please add Neyveli 07 followed by your name. Quickly change your name. Jualin Iane, you have to change your name. Anita Ponnudurai, you have to change your name. Sanjay also has to change the name. Anita, okay. So children, good morning. So today what we will try to study is, we will try to study some biology. So from today onwards, I will start taking biology for you. So this is the first class for biology. Okay. So now we are going to study about nutrition in plants. Okay, so we are going to study about nutrition in plants. So what is nutrition? First we have to study. Okay. Have you guys studied what is nutrition already? Have you heard of this word nutrition? Okay. So now tell me, can someone tell me what is nutrition? Raise your hand and then let us see. Raise your hand. I will give you the thing. Okay. One person has raised the hand. So I will just, first I will unmute him. You can tell the answer. Yes, Aditya.
Sir, a particular kind of mineral, proteins, or energy.
That is nutrition.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you are saying that it is particular kind of mineral, protein, energy, he's saying. So these kind of things is what we call it as nutrition. Okay, I'm muting you again.
Okay, sir.
Now, Selva Narayana Srivatsan. So you tell me, I'm unmuting you. So you tell me what is it? Yes, Selva. Selva Narayana Srivatsan. I have unmuted you. You quickly tell me. Okay, he's not replying. So others, anyone else who wants to tell what is nutrition? Anyone else? Okay, so no one is telling me, so I'll just try to make it a point. So someone is saying energy giving food. Energy giving food is nutrition. Okay, fine. Somewhat close to the thing, but let us try to see the exact meaning of these things. Okay, so what is nutrition? Every organism will need energy to survive, or does it need food to survive, or nutrients? I'm using three words now: nutrients, energy, and food. Out of these three things, which is the one that organisms will require? Organisms require nutrients, organisms require energy, organisms require food. Which one is correct? Organisms require food, someone is saying. Someone is saying all the three are required. Okay. If I were to select only one thing, which one will you select? Someone, Aditya, is saying it is energy. What about others? Are you guys, you just think and tell me. Someone says food. Someone says nutrition. Nutrients. Okay. So now what we'll try to understand is, we'll try to see the difference between these terms. Okay. First, we'll try to understand what is nutrient, what is energy, what is food, and all those things. And then we'll try to understand why, what is required, first of all. And then like we'll try to unravel things, and then like we'll study. So please understand, children. Say for example, as a human being, if I have to survive, okay, if I have to live, we will say that we need food, but we also need oxygen. Okay, and you are saying that we need nutrients. I mean, like the food is going to contain nutrients. In sixth standard, you might have studied that what are nutrients. You have something called as carbohydrate. You have something called as a protein. You have something called as a fats. These are all what we have studied as nutrients. Your food is containing what we call it as nutrients. Okay, so the food that we eat is made up of nutrients. Okay, there are two types of nutrients. What are the two types of nutrients? The one we call it as micronutrients, macronutrients, and the other one which we call it as micronutrients. What is macronutrient and micronutrient? Something which is required in large quantities. This is required in less quantity. Okay, so macronutrients, what are they? If you're going to talk about macronutrients, you have carbohydrates, you have proteins, you have fats. And if you're talking about micronutrients, you have minerals, you have vitamins, and you have, there is a spelling mistake, you have vitamins, and you have fibers. We call them as roughage also. So this is what is the nutrient that is there in the food. So now we have understood what is called as nutrient now. So food will contain nutrient. So which means both are the same. Food and nutrient are overlapping nutrients. What are the nutrients? We have studied about micro and macro. So please copy this thing down and then tell me yes, so that I can, don't tell it in the mic, I mean like type it in the chat column so that we can proceed further. I'm just giving you 2 minutes for copying this thing. Okay, one person has said, okay. So if it is done, we can proceed further now. So now let us come to this particular part of energy. Okay, I'll try to tell you what is the energy. So for organisms to survive, okay, for any organism, living organism, let us take you. If you are talking about an organism, it can be a bacteria, it can be a fungus, it can be a plant, it can be an animal, any of these things. Okay, that is what we call it as organism. Don't think only about human beings. Whenever I'm telling the word organism, it can mean any of these things. Okay, the smallest of the smallest creatures to the hugest of the creatures. It can be anything. So if this organism has to survive, okay, so do they need what we call it as food, which is going to contain nutrients, or does it going to need energy? Was the question. Okay, if you ask me, my answer would be energy. Why? Because this food and nutrients are going to give me, at the end of the day, it is going to give me only energy. And not all organisms are eating food. You talk about plant, for example. Is the plant is eating any food as such? Are you giving food to plants? Yes or no? Tell me. No, we don't give food to plants. Okay. So what is that plant is requiring is, the plant will need only energy in some form. And we also need as a person energy, which is going to be provided by food. What is that this organism is requiring is, this organism requires energy to survive, to maintain life. What is that maintaining life means? Me, I'm there, I'm going to live today. I'm just walking. My body is like kind of like growing. My body is like kind of like having some damage at times. Say for example, I have fallen down, and after falling down, like I'm like getting a wound, and that wound is going to recover. Okay, so that wound is recovering. For that I need something. What is that something that I need? I need what is called as energy. Okay, if suppose food is going to give me energy, I am going to take food. Okay, if suppose nutrient is going to give me energy, I am going to take nutrient. On the contrary, like plants, with the sunlight, I will just go and stand in sunlight. At the end of the day, what is that organisms require is energy. Okay, are we understanding? Suppose if the wound will heal only if I'm going to stand in sun, what will I do? I will eat food or I'll go and stand in the sun. Think about a situation where I'm like kind of like got wounded, and the situation demands that my wound will heal only if I'm going to stand in sun. Okay, if I'm going to eat food, I'm giving a if condition. If at all it is going to be like that, what would I prefer to do to heal the wound? I would go and stand in the sun. Still, some people are not understanding. Okay, some people are saying stand in the sun. So I'm trying to tell is, suppose if there is a situation, okay, suppose this is not reality, but suppose I am a person, I have got a wound. Okay, there are two possibilities. Wound should heal. If I eat food, it is not going to heal. If I stand in sun, it is going to heal. Which one would I choose? Akshaya, Yashwant, Sri, please tell me now. Yashwant, Rishi. What would I prefer? So naturally, I would. I am giving this particular thing. Listen to this particular hypothesis. Okay, so suppose இப்படி சொன்னேன் அப்படின்னா வந்துட்டு என்ன பண்ணுவ நீ? Suppose I am going to say, if you are going to eat food, your wound is not going to heal. Only if you are going to stand in sun, your wound is going to heal. அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, what would you do? Naturally, your wound would heal, if you want the wound to heal, you will stand in sun. Here, sun is going to determine that particular thing, because we will do things only which is going to benefit us. Okay, so we need energy to maintain life. How is that human beings are getting food, energy? We are getting it through food. But a plant is not eating food. Why it is not eating food? Because for it, energy is obtained in a different way. So it is going to be taking it from sun. ஓகே, ஸோ இப்போ பிளான்ட்டை பொறுத்த முடிக்கும் பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு எனர்ஜி எப்படி கிடைக்கும்? சன் மூலியமா கிடைக்குது. ஸோ இட் இஸ் நாட் ஈட்டிங் ஃபுட். இன்ஸ்டெட் வாட் இட் இஸ் ட்ரைங் டு டூ, it is trying to take the energy from the sun. On the contrary, human beings க்கு energy எங்க இருந்து கிடைக்குது? They are getting it from food. So we are eating food. Okay, so the ultimate thing is, it is not the food which is important, but what is important? An organism. What is important for an organism? Energy. Yeah, exactly. So an organism, energy is important. So organisms will try to take energy from wherever it is obtainable. Okay, so let us continue writing. Organisms require energy to maintain life. They obtain energy through various sources. Some as food, some as sunlight, and some as chemicals. Okay, so there are some organisms which will obtain energy in the form of what? Food. Some will be obtaining energy in the form of sunlight. There are some organisms which will take energy in the form of chemicals. We'll try to study about it later. In this chapter itself, we'll try to study about it. What is that an organism is requiring? Organisms require energy to maintain life. Okay, they will obtain it from different sources. From where they will get the energy? They can get it as food, they can get it as sunlight, and they can get it as chemicals. Okay, so they can get it as chemicals also. Okay, so now what is nutrition? The process by which an organism obtains energy is called as nutrition. So what is nutrition exactly? How an organism is going to obtain that energy? Say for example, what is nutrition in human beings? What do you think? How do we obtain energy? By eating food. So in human beings, eating food is called as nutrition. How is a plant going to get energy? Plant is going to get energy by a process called as photosynthesis. That is what is called as nutrition. Okay, so like that you have different types of nutrition. So in this particular chapter we are going to study only about plants and how the plants are going to obtain energy. Okay, so quickly take down. Okay, someone wants third page. Just give half a more minute. Let others copy this thing. I'll show it. Okay, third page. Okay, so someone wanted second page. Fourth page. Okay, so now we'll move on. We'll try to study about types of nutrition. We are going to study about types of nutrition. What are the different ways in which organisms will obtain energy? Okay, so if you are going to talk about nutrition, nutrition is broadly divided into two types. One is what we call it as autotrophic nutrition, and the other one is what we call it as heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, in autotrophic nutrition, you will have two types. Photoautotrophic and then you have chemoautotrophic. Okay, here there is a thing. And then you have here you have three types. You have something called as a holozoic. You have something called as parasitic. And then you have something called as a saprotrophic. Okay, so three types are there. So this is what is the types of nutrition. We'll try to study about all these things. Okay, so just copy this thing down. And tell me once you have copied so that I can move on. Okay, so now we'll try to study what is autotrophic nutrition. The word auto means self. Okay, so there are some organisms that will produce their own food. Okay, so such a mode of nutrition is called as a autotrophic mode of nutrition. So what is exactly autotrophic mode of nutrition? Uh, if you are going to prepare your own food, okay, then we call them as then we call that mode of nutrition as autotrophic nutrition. Okay, uh, can I call my mother as autotroph because she prepares her own food? What is autotrophic mode of nutrition? Autotrophic mode of nutrition is a type of nutrition where organisms obtain the food on their own. Okay, so in the moment I'm saying, you are saying plants, but why is that my mother is also making their own food? Why shouldn't I say that she is an autotroph? Or my dad also cooks, so why can't I say that he is an autotroph? Or I can cook. So why is that I cannot call myself as an autotroph? What is the reason? Okay, Yashwant Rishi is raising the hand. I'm unmuting him for a while.
Sir,
Ah,
you told you are cooking food, sir,
hmm.
but you are going and buying the food. I mean, vegetables from the market, right, sir?
Yeah, I'm getting the vegetables from the market, but still, like, plant is also getting it from somewhere only. No, it is getting it from sunlight.
Yes, sir.
So can we call that as autotrophic nutrition? So now tell me. So that is what is the question. Someone has to depend on something else. So what is the key difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic?
Sir, you are not getting directly, sir. You are getting by cooking. No. You are eating some other.
I'm eating
You are
something
depending
else.
on plants. You are depending on plants.
I'm depending on plants. Okay, so you are saying that I'm depending on plants for this thing. So similarly, my argument is that sun is also. I mean, like, plants are also dependent on sunlight.
Yes, sir. But it takes its own food there directly.
Okay, wait. That is the question. I just want you to think for a while. Just listen to me for some time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Yashwant, I'm muting you. Okay, so that is the argument that I'm trying to make. So if I'm going to say that obtain the food on their own, there are some constraints that I'm trying to tell. So are you guys able to understand my argument? When I was trying to argue, what I was trying to argue is that my mother is also cooking the own food, and then I am also can cook my food. So can I call myself as an autotroph? Immediately you people are saying no, you cannot tell. Okay. At the same time, this guy Yashwant came up with one argument saying that, sir, you are not preparing food. You are buying it from the market. You are going and depending on plants for your food. You are saying, he was saying, perfectly fine. And then I am giving a counter argument for that, saying that plants are also depending on sunlight. Okay. So now, what is the key difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic is that autotrophic mode of nutrition is a type of nutrition where organisms obtain their own food, but from what source? From inorganic source such as carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and chemicals. Okay. So, what is the key difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic? Is autotrophic mode of nutrition, the organism will obtain the food on its own. But what is the source that it is trying to take the food from? It is taking it from inorganic source. What do you mean by inorganic source? Something which is not living already. Okay, you see, carbon dioxide is not living, water is not living, sunlight is not living, chemicals are not living. So using non-living things, it is trying to create energy. Okay, so that kind of mode of nutrition is what we call it as autotrophic mode of nutrition. Are we guys understanding? On the contrary, if I am going to make a food, I am depending on some other living organism. So that makes me heterotrophic. So though I cannot go stand out in sunlight and say, okay, I'm able to prepare my own food. Okay, I cannot be like going and like stand out in the sunlight, basking, and then say like, okay, come on sunlight, come and make food in me. Like that way I cannot do. But plants can do. So I cannot use any inorganic source. I cannot just live on water, carbon dioxide, sunlight, and chemicals. These kind of inorganic source I cannot use to make food for me. Okay, but I require plants, I require animals, I require some living form like fungus, okay, to eat. So that is what will make me energetic. That is what is going to supply food for me. So I do not come under autotroph, because while telling about autotroph, don't just stop with this line. Any organism which obtain their food on their own, don't stop it there. But you have to augment it, you have to make it further by saying from inorganic source such as these. Okay, so quickly copy this thing down. Okay, so good. So next one is, we'll go for heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, but before we go for heterotrophic, we'll go for types of autotrophic. We'll go for photoautotrophic. Okay, the word photo means light. The word photo means light. Okay. When organisms use light for preparing their own food, the nutrition is called as photoautotrophic mode of. Okay, so whenever they use light for producing food, then we call it as photoautotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, example for this thing would be plants. Okay, such organisms are called as photoautotrophs. Okay, so what is the difference between photoautotrophic mode of nutrition and photoautotrophs? The organism is called as photoautotroph. This is the organism. When I'm using the word photoautotroph, it is the organism. If I'm going to use the word photoautotrophic, or if I'm going to use the word photoautotropism, I'm talking about the process or mode. Okay, so please understand, whenever I'm using the word photoautotroph, it means I'm indicating the organism. Quickly copy down. Okay, copied. Okay, so now so there is something called as chemoautotrophic nutrition. The word chemo means chemicals. Okay, it is a mode of nutrition where organisms use chemicals for producing food. Okay, so there are some organisms like bacteria, some form of bacteria. You have something called as a sulfur bacteria. The sulfur bacteria will use sulfur to produce food. Then there is something called as a iron bacteria. This iron bacteria will be present in the rust. Okay, it will try to eat rust. You guys know what is rust, right? So that rust, it will eat rust and then it can survive. Some of these bacteria. Okay, so and then like you also have some kind of bacteria which are called as nitrifying bacteria. These nitrifying bacteria and all will be like kind of what they can live in nitrogen resources. So these organisms are considered to be chemoautotrophic mode of nutrition. Only bacteria are chemoautotrophic. No other organism is chemoautotrophic. All higher organisms are like mostly autotrophic or heterotrophic. But when you're talking about bacteria, in some bacteria, you can see this kind of phenomenon where they depend on chemicals for producing food. Some of them can live in acids also. Okay. There are some organisms which are called as thermoacidophiles. So these thermoacidophiles are bacteria which can live in acids as well. Okay. So these organisms can live in acid and they can survive using acid. So that is what is the example for chemoautotrophic mode of nutrition. All these organisms are called as chemoautotrophs. Okay. Please copy this thing down. Okay, are we done? Okay, so now moving on further. You also have something called as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So it is very easy. So now if I have to modify this thing, what will your answer be? So you have studied about autotrophic mode of nutrition. So if you want to change and write, how would you like to tell? So it is like this. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition is a type of nutrition where organisms obtain their own food or they depend on others. So it is a mode of depend on preformed organic substances. Preformed means they should be already formed and it has to be organically available. What is the meaning of organic? It has to be there in a living format. They depend on plants or animals for obtaining energy. Okay, these organisms are called as heterotrophs. Copied? Okay. Now we'll go for holozoic mode of nutrition. Okay. So holozoic mode of nutrition, what will happen is, let us talk about an amoeba. An amoeba will have food, it will try to consume it fully. And it will try to eat it, engulf it. What is that we are doing? We are like swallowing the food. Okay. If I'm swallowing the food and I'm digesting inside my body, that is what we call it as holozoic mode of nutrition. Okay. So it is a type of nutrition where the organisms eat or consumes the food and digest the food inside the body. Okay. So what is the basic difference between Holozoic? I'll just show this slide, just wait for some time. There are two modes here. One is like Holozoic and saprotrophic. Okay. In Holozoic, what will happen? The organism will consume the food and it will digest inside the body. But if you're talking about fungus, what will fungus will do is it will send the digestive juices outside. It will digest the food outside the body. So let us say that there is a wood log. The wood log will be digested outside itself, and whatever it wants alone, it will try to take it inside. Whereas in this holozoic nutrition, what is happening is it will take the food inside, digest it, and then like whatever is unwanted is ejected. Okay. So what is the basic difference between holozoic and saprotrophic is holozoic nutrition, the digestion happens inside the body. Okay. In saprotrophic nutrition, the organism is dead, but the digestion happens outside the body, and only whatever is required is taken inside. Okay. So that is the basic difference between these two things. You just copy this holozoic. I'll give you notes for saprotrophic and all in the next class. For this example, humans, amoeba, and all can be examples. Okay. Are you guys done? Okay. With this thing, we'll stop today's class. We'll meet next week for biology class.